Hey everyone! This is the first in a series of 5 videos I'll be doing to discuss 5 simple steps on teaching your child how to express their emotions. I've been working with parents for over 10 years on using behavioral strategies to effectively manage their children's behaviors. By behaviors, I mean challenging behaviors such as tantrums, refusals to follow instructions, difficulty getting through dinner time, potty training, all kinds of things. What I've come across over time is there are a lot of children who have difficulty regulating their emotions. What I mean by that is when they get angry or frustrated, they may have meltdowns, they may scream, kick, throw things, stomp their feet, destroy things, just depends on their age. So I think that it might be helpful to go over some behavioral strategies you can implement at home by yourself that might help maybe your toddler or your teen learn to engage in more appropriate behavior that will be more helpful to them in the future. Let's talk about modeling the behavior you want your child to engage in. I mean, the first 3 to 5 years of their life are pretty transformative years for a child, and for the most part, they probably see you and your immediate family the most during that time. So it's good to keep in mind that the behavior you're engaging in is what they're seeing and learning from. They're learning from you. What you do is what they learn to do. If mom gets frustrated and slams something, then he's gonna think, okay, well then it's okay to do that because mom does it. It's good to keep that in mind when your kids are around. I probably don't need to tell you that your toddler is going to copy everything you do. I'm sure you see them do it now. And it's cute at times, the funny little quirks. Sometimes it can be a bit much. Maybe they get into your makeup or they want to help you cook. I've seen that. So it can be cute, can be exhausting. It just depends on the day and the time of day sometimes. I want to make sure I provide you with some strategies to help work on this in the future. What I've come to find over time is that there are 2 different types of parents, or at least for the most part generally. You know, there's parents who are comfortable with talking about emotions, discussing how they're feeling, and parents who maybe aren't so comfortable with it. Maybe they weren't raised that way. You know, they just haven't been taught to talk about how they're feeling and to discuss that with their children. Going back to what I said about your kids copying everything you do, this can have a direct correlation to your child engaging in behaviors they see you engage in. And it can be helpful to teach your child how to label their emotions because they don't always know what they are, especially when they're really young. They're feeling all these feelings, they don't know what they mean, and they don't know what to do with them. So it can be really helpful if they see you feeling that way, and then you describe it to them so that they understand, okay, this is how I was feeling too, and then label it for them. Explain, this is what being angry is like, this is what being sad is like, this is what being frustrated is like. These are the kinds of things that make us angry, sad, or frustrated. That way they can start learning to recognize when they feel these feelings. And that's the first step to knowing what behavior to engage in afterwards that's more appropriate. It can help them problem solve and get past it. So if you're comfortable expressing your emotions, talking about how you're feeling and why you've acted in certain ways to your child in the moment, you're ahead of the pack and are doing great setting an example for your child of what to do and also explaining why you do it. They're young, they don't come with an instruction booklet, and they don't understand the rules of society, the world, even the house sometimes. So it's your job as the parent to explain things to them so that they understand why we do certain things and why we don't do certain things. If you're uncomfortable expressing your feelings, I understand. It's hard to do something that you've never been taught to do and you probably wasn't modeled for you when you were a child. But it's good to break the cycle now and go ahead and start trying to do it at least randomly throughout the day. So, for example, let's say that your phone breaks. Maybe the screen cracks because it's fallen on the floor. No one threw it. We won't get into that. And you're angry, obviously. So it's a good opportunity to show it to your child and say, I'm angry that my phone broke. Look, it's cracked. Now I can't work on it, and it's really frustrating for mommy or daddy. And you can explain it's okay to be angry about it, but I'm just going to take it to the store and get it fixed. No big deal. It's a small problem. That's an example of something that you can do if you're angry. Let's say you're angry because you had plans to go out and do something as a family and it rains. It's a good opportunity to sit your child down and explain. You can say, I'm angry that it's raining. I really wanted to go to the carnival today, but I guess I'm just going to have to take some deep breaths and try to calm down. You can invite them to do it with you. Hey, I don't want to do it by myself. You want to practice some deep breaths with me? Let's do that to calm down so I'm not so angry. And then you can walk them through taking a deep breath, maybe holding it for 3 seconds and then letting it go. Or if they're really little, just do a big deep breath and then let it out. And that's a helpful way of showing them in the moment of behaviors they can engage in if they're feeling angry. And walking them through it gives them a chance to practice it. You can also talk about what you can do instead. All right, thanks for taking deep breaths with me. Now I've got to figure out something else to do, because if not, we'll be bored. And have them help you come up with ideas, or you can just give them ideas of what else to do. That way they understand the process of problem solving and redirecting to a more appropriate activity rather than having a meltdown because they couldn't go to the carnival. An example of when you can talk about being sad might be something simple, such as losing your earring down the drain. I've done it. Happened to me last week. And maybe it's your favorite earring, and maybe you're sad. And it's a good opportunity to share it with your kid. You can explain to them what happened and say, I'm really sad because it was my favorite. And then talk about how you have other earrings that you like, and maybe you can just find your favorite earrings again. Or maybe you'll find another pair that you really like. So it's a good way to just simply talk about being sad, making it okay to be sad because it's reasonable to be sad about something favorite that you've lost, and then talking about other things to teach them how to redirect and then kind of move on from the topic because you don't want to dwell on it. Talking about things we get frustrated about is also really important. It happens a lot throughout the day. Maybe you've been trying to put together a toy for your child and it's not coming together. We all know how those directions go. Half the time they don't work. So it's a good opportunity to talk to your child about it. You can say, look, I've been working on this for an hour and it's still not done. Mommy's so frustrated. And you can talk about how you've tried a lot of different things and explain that you're going to take a break and then you're going to come back to it once you've had some time to get away from it for a bit. So in this case, you're modeling what types of verbal behavior that your child can engage in. So explaining to another person how they're feeling, why they're feeling that way, what happened, and then also teaching them, hey, it's okay to take a break from this. I'll just come back to it. There's been plenty of times, I'm sure, when you've been doing something and you've gotten way too carried away being angry or frustrated, and you're like, all right, I just need to get away from it, maybe come back to it another day. And it's good to teach them that and talk them through it so that they understand these are things they can do in the future. I hope these tips and examples were helpful. Please feel free to leave comments, questions below. If you have any, I'll be happy to answer them. I know these things can get a little complicated at times, and there's so many different situations and scenarios that can pop up. It can be hard to know what to do in all of them. So I'll be happy to help if I can. Please like and subscribe below if you found this helpful, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.